This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
This week's episode of Do Go On is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook and a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audible.com/dogoon or text Do Go On to 500 500. Get started today. Now let's get started today with the show. Today.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, when?
Today.
ASAP.
Rocky.
Oh.
Hello and welcome to another episode of
Do Go On.
Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky, and I'm here with Jess and Matt. How many weeks in a row is this now? Jess, if you want to do the intro, you just say.
I just like doing things together.
Oh, okay.
Just like to be near you.
Right.
It was hard to tell if you were trying to annoy him or you wanted to be him.
Be him. Be him. It's be
The
him.
girls want to be on him. And the guys want to be with him. Is that it?
Is that it?
Yeah.
It's really hard to talk when Jess is going under me. Did I say English words then?
No.
Really?
It was all backwards and it was just sounded like you were saying, the Satan is my God.
The Satan. Oh, how embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, I'm the idiot.
Let's
Like
take
the
that
Facebook. Early on, Satan was called the Satan, but then Justin Timberlake came in and he said, "Get rid of the," which was a band at the time, and they left the room. And then he said, "Now that we're alone,
Yeah.
I want you."
I can't stand the. They are so pretentious.
Oh my goodness, yes. Anyway, can we talk about the? Oh, they're back. All right, get out of here, the band the, please. Now, if we could just chat about the in your name.
Did somebody mention us?
No, I'm talking about the in the Satan's name, please. The get out of here. Thank you. Sorry, the Satan. I'm gonna just do it. You're Satan now, okay?
Okay. You're looking at me like I'm Satan.
You are.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
In our worlds.
They
you
also
are
apparently
Satan.
have broad appeal to both men and women. Appreciate you saying that, Matt.
Okay, what did I say? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You said that women want to be with me, men want to be on me.
No,
Right.
the way around.
I don't care. I'll take them all.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great.
Much like Satan.
Thank
yeah,
you.
he'll take them all.
Accept
I
it.
don't know what that means either.
Jess, I'm looking forward to taking you out of context yelling, what was it? I love the Satan? Now I've said it. Oh, God. Matt, quick, you say it. Otherwise, you'll be able to use this against us.
I love goodness
Oh, well played.
and purity and being kind.
I can't think of a third nice thing.
yeah, I can't think of what's that thing that all those fucking nerds say.
I think you'd find that Satan would find it hard to say those kind of things. I can't do it. I can't pretend.
The word was burning my tongue.
How very interesting.
So anyway, we're a show called Do Go On, the podcast. Do Go On podcast. And we...
No podcast, just do go on.
Do Go On. Great. Okay. And on this show, each week we do a different
Rap.
rap.
But that's at
Oh
the end
no, she made me say rap.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
I
don't know why that was in my head.
Well, that was the
That's
week's rap.
the first rap.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're going to think of rap, that's the rap you think of.
correct.
I mean, you're the person who was talking about A$AP Rocky before.
Yeah,
So you know rap.
I know rap.
Anyway, so this show is called Do Go On, and it's about a different topic each week. And one of us does a report on that topic. This week it's Jess' turn. And to get on topic,
She's feeling destructive.
Yeah.
Jess will ask a question, and then we'll do the report.
I now understand. Thank you.
Now Jess asks the question.
But I don't feel comfortable speaking it unless somebody else is also speaking.
Okay.
So could you try to figure out what the question is, please?
How many Chuck does Woody would? If Chucky Chuck, Woody would. Chuck.
I can confirm that is written on Jess's screen.
Thank you. And the answer, of course, is Matilda Swinton. That's not her name.
I imagine that's what Tilda stands
Yeah,
for.
Oh, baby, I did it.
I want to know.
Can we... Oh,
No, I need to know. Tilda Swinton. Catherine Matilda Swinton.
all right, well, I did it.
So Tilda stands for Catherine.
Yes.
Confusing.
Very strange.
It is confusing.
Okay, now what is the question, Jess? You've written one. You said you excitedly told us before we started
did.
recording that you've written one this
I
week.
wrote it. And not 5 minutes ago. Very early this morning.
That's great.
So my question to you, gentlemen / fuckboys,
Hang on.
is this.
I'm the gentleman here.
I'm the Slash, guitarist from the band Guns N' Roses.
My question is, who was once called the most dangerous man on TV?
Dave Warnocky.
That's bullshit and you know it. Firstly, never been on TV. Secondly,
I've been on TV and I've been very dangerous.
how?
One time,
What, with your dazzlingly good looks?
it's mainly I'm dangerous when I get in the kitchen and attempt to cook.
That's
It's
not on
very
TV, is
dangerous.
it? You've not been on MasterChef,
I've
have
been
you?
pitching cooking shows for many years.
Yes.
I haven't had any interest.
Okay, well, it's not Dave Warnocky.
Okay.
Is it Michael Jackson in the Dangerous era when he did a Dangerous special? When he did the film clip with Eddie Murphy where it was called Remember the Time?
No,
Is it Evil Knievel?
no.
The most dangerous person on TV.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Is it a bad
No.
person?
No,
Or it's just
It's
that's
not-
part of the...
Again, that's Michael Jackson.
it's not necessarily someone that you might spring to mind. Think about it more in terms of a
Glenn Ridge.
performance style.
Oh, dangerous performance style.
So it's
the
a man.
Amazing Jonathan.
The Amazing Jonathan.
A comedian that would do horrible stuff.
I don't remember The Amazing Jonathan.
Shock and horror was his sort of act.
No, it's not my bag.
It would purposefully go wrong, and he would, there would be a lot of blood.
Oh, no, thank you.
Alice Cooper,
No, good one though.
the most dangerous man. David Letterman. That guy was unhinged.
I suppose you're moving more in the right kind of
Jay
direction.
Leno.
Not
Conan.
not
Okay.
a late show host. Well, a show that's on quite
American?
late at night. American
American late night show host.
weekend.
At Bernie's.
Hot dogs. Up late with hot dogs.
It is hot dogs from Big
He was called the
Brother.
most dangerous man on TV.
I think you need to give it to us, Jess. I think we've had enough
Yeah,
wrong
sorry.
cracks here.
Anyone from Saturday Night Live maybe stand out?
Bill Murray.
Similar era. Keep going.
Chevy Chase.
Whoa, you're so close.
Oh,
Chasey Ches.
was Steve Martin wasn't on that. Who was
No, it wasn't. You're thinking the right era of person.
Dan Aykroyd?
What? Who else?
John Belushi.
Yes!
Oh, it's about John Belushi.
It's about John Belushi.
John Belushi.
Yes.
He was called the most dangerous man on television.
Yes.
What was he doing?
He's bloody wild.
Really?
Yeah. So I put it to our Patreon.
Who
supporters.
suggested John Belushi? I haven't seen him in the hat. That's
Yeah, it
cool.
was suggested by Mac Shildroth.
Great one, Mac.
And I put to the hat. I put to the Patreons because my last couple of reports have been Hollywood biographies. And
yes.
we sort of said we wanted to make it like a triptych.
Triptych, yes.
So I put it to them and I gave them 4 options of people from a similar kind of era or anyone in that sort of entertainment industry. And I said, who do you want to hear more about?
Really? That's surprising to me. That's great.
And a
John
huge
Belushi.
response, was for John Belushi. I was quite surprised by that one. There was a couple of great suggestions in the hat, which I won't say because hopefully we'll get to do them another time. But, overwhelming response for John Belushi. And I didn't know heaps. So it's quite interesting.
Did you have his brother in the hat as well?
No.
Oh, disappointing.
Once again, Jim misses out. Although I did learn of 2 actors who are siblings that I did not know about, which I will talk
The
about.
Olsen Twins. Jess. I mean, twins is in their title.
Yeah, but they're not completely identical.
Yes,
So
one's slightly taller.
one's left-handed.
Yeah.
Mary
okay.
Kate.
Yeah, it could be. They could be strangers. That's true.
So
Well, no, they couldn't be strangers. I mean, they know each other.
But at one stage, they could have been strangers.
Yes, they could have been born strangers.
yeah, and in a way, aren't we all born strangers?
Not
So
twins.
true.
They've known each other since they were little sperms.
Yeah, but do you ever really know in person?
Oh, they know sperms.
When are you a little sperm?
Yeah, I okay. Full disclosure, don't have any sperm, so I don't know heaps
They're going
about
to say,
sperm.
full disclosure, I don't know how it works, and I'd like to leave that as a mystery.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully you take up the story from when John Belushi was a sperm,
obviously.
and we can go from there.
So about 9 months before the 24th of January 1949, John Belushi was a sperm.
Yes.
Oh.
Beyond that point. Actually, no, it would have been like even before that, because 9 months before he was like...
It would have been that weird tadpole, part egg, part sperm section.
And then,
Look, I'm sorry, I have been holding this from you guys. I am a scientist.
wow.
Sorry to use those big words there.
I'm sitting here thinking, what is he talking
Yeah,
about?
look, you're going to have to do a full report on this, Matt, because I am lost already.
Okay, we'll save that for later. Let's get on with the human form of Belushi.
So, John...
So what time did he emerge from the vaginal cavity?
Ew, cavity? Canal?
Cavity.
Stop trying to talk like a
Ooh.
scientist, David. You're doing it wrong.
Well,
Look,
like
I think
cavity.
you'll find that somewhere on the Richter scale, he came in at a 4.
All right, I mean, that's true, but you lucked into that.
Thank yes. Very lucky. Very, very lucky.
Wow. So January 24th, 1949, John Adam Belushi was born in Chicago.
Chicago, the Windy City.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Chicago?
Chicago.
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 You're speaking like a local.
He was raised in Wheaton, which is a suburb 30 miles or 48 k's west of Chicago. Chicago. I'm so sorry. Along with his 3 siblings, younger brothers Billy and Jim, and sister Marion. His father, Adam, had immigrated to America from Albania, and his mother, Agnes, was the daughter of Albanian immigrants as well. His father owned a restaurant, spent most nights working. During the week, he'd stayed in an apartment above the restaurant to avoid the 50k commute. So the kids didn't see much of their father growing up.
Oh.
Their mother also worked, so John and his siblings were often kind of left on their own. However, their grandmother, who they called Nana, was around and was a very important part of the Belushi kids'
They
lives.
called her that because she would cook with nunchucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she cooked a traditional Albanian cuisine.
Which was?
Albanian pizzas, Albanian pastas, Albanian Chinese food.
Yep.
Yeah, she'd do it all, but she'd do it with chopsticks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And
That's
nunchucks.
so interesting.
Yes. Thank you.
And obviously really influenced him later in life.
I mean,
Bit
obviously,
of sizzle there.
she was using nunchucks in the kitchen, obviously. She was previously the most dangerous woman on television.
Yes. Yeah.
On
yeah.
her cooking show, Cooking with Nana.
Yeah.
And nunchucks.
Yeah.
Cooking with Nana chucks.
Sorry, mispronounced that.
Yeah, you started, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That happens. You're
Got
nervous.
there. I know, I'm nervous. Talking about my idol, Nana.
Chucks.
No. None other.
Other than Nana Chucks. That's a great... See, talking of rap names, Nana Chucks. Is a
Oh, yeah. Copyright.
That's how you do it. I didn't realize you were a lawyer, Jess.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
Wow.
How did you not know that about
We've got a
me?
scientist.
I don't know.
We've got a lawyer. This show...
God, we're kooky.
Wow.
We're the modern day band that sang YMCA.
Village people.
Village people.
Yeah. They had the lawyer. They had the
scientist.
The scientist.
The civil servant.
The teacher.
The teacher.
Yeah.
The garbage truck driver.
Gas station attendant.
Yeah.
The band really grew.
It was a big band.
The Nana Chuck.
The Nana Chuck.
Oh, the Nunchuck that's where she was from.
That's where she started. Wow. Yeah. She was the Y.
Really?
Y.
People often ask that. Why?
Who brought the Y to this?
Nana Chuck Y. And she would answer in Albanian.
Si, senor.
So close.
Such a linguist.
So
Beautiful, isn't it?
wow.
So Nana was a really big part of the Belushi kids' lives, and throughout his life, John he would say that Nana was the soul of the family. That all the kids are very close to her. John's brother Jim Belushi
Interesting.
says,
Is that an Albanian tradition?
Yeah, to retain the surname.
Naming your brother after your surname?
I think so.
Yeah, right.
I think it's the Albanians that started it. Yeah. He said Nana was like their mother figure, and she was the heart of the family.
Oh, Nana Mother.
So she was the soul moments ago. Now she's the heart.
She's everything. Nana Mother was very good.
Yeah. They needed her to live. Soul, heart. She was
Nana
their breathing apparatus.
lungs.
Took it hard. It's found it hard to take in oxygen without Nana.
He said, if it wasn't for Nana, we'd be in jail today.
Wow.
I don't know if
Wow,
that's...
she also broke them out of jail.
Yeah, yeah. With,
I thought she was
with
their
the
defense attorney and broke them out. She got them on both ends.
If it wasn't for Nana,
They were already going to let them out, but she's like, I got this.
I would have got 25 to life for importing that heroin, but Nana got me off. She took the fall for me. Spent a long time in prison. Thanks, Nana.
What an angel.
One angel.
She didn't speak English, so this was...
Very hard to defend someone in court without speaking English.
Yeah, but she was so endearing. They're like, nah,
yeah.
I think she's
her
right.
body language was so
She did a lot of shrugging, like, come on. It's the only phrase she knew in English. Come on.
And the witnesses would crack under pressure. All right, fine. It wasn't him. He didn't do it. Come on.
Yeah. And then they'd hand over their wallets. She was also robbing them. I don't know why.
She did it all, that's why.
Yeah.
Not a chuck.
None of Chuck. She didn't speak English, so this was where John's physical performance began because he sort of needed to communicate with her non-verbally.
See, she's doing that in court. He's picking that up in court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So his ability to communicate non-verbally, he was very expressive. He could make up languages or like, you know when people not make up languages, like, oh, I've invented this now.
It's easier to make up a new language than learn Albanian.
True. No, but you know how some people like try to speak other languages or try to sound like they're speaking other languages and it's not very convincing at all, and other people...
I don't know that, but yes.
Bon.
Very convincing.
Very convincing. This is where he sort of came from, entertaining his grandmother when he was a kid, and his brother Jim Belushi.
It's hard to keep track.
It's something that
Is there a relation there, or is it just a weird coincidence?
my friend and comedian Pete Jones does that, and that's why it always makes me laugh. He'll always be like, yes, I was talking to Dave Warnocky.
And who says this?
Pete Jones. Sort of
Pete
Jones.
Jones, thank you.
Sort of how it's like your name dropping, but it's like...
It's very obvious.
I was speaking to Michael Perkins, my brother. Anyway.
Oh, you guys are Albanian.
Yeah. Big time.
Naming tradition checks out.
Big Albanians.
Really?
So Jim Belushi remembers being upset at his parents one time.
Well, like, sure, according to Jim, anyway. It's the sitcom he had.
That's Jim Belushi.
Yeah, it's Jim Belushi.
Wow.
Yep. So according to him, he was upset at his parents one time when he was a kid, and John turned to his younger brother and said, Mum and Dad are irresponsible parents. Just eat and sleep here. Go out for everything else. So, yeah, relationship with their parents I think was like fine, but their parents were absent. So they were quite independent kids. And John, sort of school became like a second home for him. So he attended Wheaton Community High School. He was a bit of a jack of all trades. He was an all-state linebacker. He stole the stage in school plays and debating tournaments, and he played in a band. So he was kind of...
That's the big three.
Yeah.
He's doing all three.
Drama, music, and sport.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Spelling bees.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
that's true. I was thinking in terms of American college.
Yeah,
cliches.
Usually you're into one, though, aren't
Yeah.
Spelling bees. A cappella.
Oh, that's true. Bring it on. No, wait. That's cheerleading. Pitch perfect.
you?
Thank you.
Science club.
Cheerleading.
And he did all these.
Yeah.
Wow.
College parties.
Oh, keggers.
Keggers.
Toga.
Parties.
Animal House style.
Correct.
He did it all.
He did it all.
American listeners, are we nailing your lives? Your college experience?
Oh, sorry. They say kegger.
Otherwise, it would have been like,
What
did
are
he
they
say?
talking about?
Kegger.
I mean, it's obviously our college experience very, very similar.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Certainly.
toga.
The
party.
toga parties I went to.
Yeah.
I
I slept in beds with sheets. At
Yeah.
uni, so a couple of steps
Do you know
away from a
what?
toga party.
I still do.
What?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
You are living like a kid the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't want to grow up.
Do you have a top sheet?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I find it it traps my feet. Which I don't like. I don't like being trapped, Jess, which is why I've launched a product. If I could segue into this now, called some of you may have seen online, I've a couple of weeks ago on the Lego website, we talked about gloveless fingers. the product where you want warm fingers, but to keep your palms nice and cool. So I've launched a possible crowdfunding campaign, which is going crazy, Matt. Matt said it wouldn't even get $20, and it is at $103.
No, I said it shouldn't get even $20.
I said you should not be using our joint account or our podcast right now to be advertising this bullshit.
But as I understand it, it has to be. It's all or nothing,
It's
right?
all or nothing. I have to raise $10,000 to launch this product. I've got 100 Aussie dollars, so that's like $4.50 in the US. And it's like $121 I've raised so far from 13 people. So if you're interested in making this happen, anyone who pledges $10, we will send you a demo pair of gloveless fingers, palm coolers, but I do go on.
When you say we, Dave,
Yeah.
We'll rope you
specify?
in. We'll rope you in.
No, I'm not helping with this.
And we'll also send you a certificate of authenticity.
You will.
authenticity.
Yes. It's misspelled, so legally it's not a bunny document.
Well, I'm confident that this is not going to be a concern of ours.
Well,
but someone did suggest, I did
4 weeks
enjoy
left.
this. I think I saw on Twitter or somewhere someone suggested that maybe you should look at marketing towards the hip hop community because they do have issues with getting their palms are sweaty.
Yeah, I did read that. That was good. Someone also suggested that it could go to high school students if you want them to keep their hands off their phones.
Right.
Their fingers will be restricted. But they'll be able to grip a pen
And I would
with
just,
their palm.
I would just like to say to the people who have tweeted to us or commented on Facebook saying, guys, I think this is already a thing. You are missing a lot.
Wait, what do you...
It is not a thing because I've decided to call it gloveless fingers, palm coolers. That's
Yeah.
the difference there.
That's the
legally.
difference.
But I do go on.
No one has ever created a product called...
Palm cooler.
Yeah. Were you doing Napoleon Dynamite's cousin's voice there?
No, Matt, that's just how I speak. Is that okay? Guys?
Anyway, the possibles link below. Sorry, Jess, do go on.
I'm not putting the link in. Okay, so...
Just Google it, guys. Come on. Please, I need this. I need this real
He
bad.
does not need it.
This is my chance to be an entrepreneur, a bit of a startup. This is my startup. I need some
Think
capital.
of a better thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I can't. This is the best I've got.
Well, that's very sad.
All right, pledge. We just need another $9,900.
Now, back to an actually talented person. John Belushi.
That felt like a dig at you, Dave.
No, I don't know how. I don't know how that could be.
Did he invent... How many products did he invent in his life?
Well, let's find out.
Can I go on and we'll find out?
Okay.
Thank you. In his senior year of high school, he met Judy Jacqueline. How good is that name?
That's a great name. JJ.
Judy Jack. Judy and John started dating, and Judy recalls that John was kind and funny, but also a little shy and could take a while to warm to new people or new situations. He didn't want to follow in his father's footsteps and join the family restaurant business, which is such a Hollywood cliche, as in movies.
Right.
You know?
I don't want to follow in Dad's footsteps.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to take up the nunchucks.
Yeah, he wasn't interested. Nobody could use those nunchucks like Nana could. Nana chuck.
Nana could.
Nana could.
Nana could.
Nana would.
Nana will.
Nana should.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous profession.
Yeah. And he just didn't feel equipped for it.
How many chucks could a wood nana chuck if a wood nana could chuck a wood? Is that what I asked at the start?
In a roundabout way,
Yeah.
sure.
You were on topic.
He had dreams of moving away from home and pursuing a career as an actor. When he finished high school, he went to the Summer Stock Theatre in Indiana, which was his first real job as an actor.
It's not far from Gary. Indiana. In case you're wondering which Gary. I'm wearing a Gary jumper today. You guys notice that?
I did not notice. I never look at you.
Wow. What are they, the Gary Steelheads? Oh, that's a now defunct team, isn't it?
Yeah. But geez, they had a great little run for
How
it.
much did that jumper cost you?
I think it was $30, $40 postage.
$40 postage?
Something like that.
$40 Oh my God, if these gloves... I'm going to be ruined. The postage alone. Stop pledging people. Oh my God. $40. I think most of the people that have pledged are in the US. Christ, I thought it'd be like $2 to send a glove. Wow. Cancel. Cancel now. That is terrifying.
Oh, that would be so funny. Dave makes a huge...
Dave goes bankrupt.
I raised $10,000 for
Okay.
a made-up product and then I
Sorry.
lose money.
I'm back on board now. Everybody, please pledge.
I don't need this.
Give anything you can. Share it around. Get your friends and family. Anything that we can put in. I'll chuck in most of my life savings.
Oh, well, Jess, I can give them to you. I won't have to mail to you. Thank God.
No. I need the mail to my US address, please.
I don't think the gloves will cost as much to mail as this sick hoodie.
I really hope
Matt,
$40.
I think it'll cost about the same. So everybody, please pledge. We need to reach our goal of $10,000.
Now I'm torn because I don't want to encourage him on this.
I want him to go broke, though,
Why?
because it's funny.
Oh, no.
I mean, you've grown up in such affluence, Dave.
And
Yeah,
I've never known what it's like.
maybe now's the time to learn.
I've never known what it's like to have a dream and then have that dream lose you tens of thousands of dollars.
So everybody, please pledge. Anyway, so John is working and performing at this theatre in Indiana, but this was the late 60s. The Vietnam War was escalating. John wasn't interested in being drafted to the war, so he enrolled in college to avoid having to go to war. He enrolled in the University of Wisconsin, but only lasted there for a year. And after he left the University of Wisconsin, he returned to Wheaton to attend a small community college, College of DuPage. Fun fact, the mascot of College of DuPage is the chaparral, which is a small bird, also known as the Roadrunner.
Oh.
If he catches you, he threw. Meep, meep.
Meep, meep. Yeah, so one evening in the summer of 1967, John's high school drama teacher took John and Judy to a Second City show. Second City being an improv comedy troupe.
In Chicago, because
Which-
it's the second biggest city in America. Is that right, Dave? I think that's why it's called Second City.
Is it?
Maybe not. The way you asked that has cast doubt.
Don't look it up.
Well,
Let
we've
him
got
let
to
him
look it
sit
up.
and be wrong. So if anybody who's not aware of Second City, it's an improv comedy troupe, which has been a starting point for comedians and actors like Alan Alda, Joan Rivers, Bill Murray, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert, so many more. It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Judy recalls as they left that night, John said, "That's what I want to do." Like it was a huge moment for him seeing Second City and going like, "Yep, that's what I want to do."
That's sick.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
How old is he at this stage? Is
Just
it-
finished high school.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And I don't think many people really, I mean, I'm sure we all kind of have memories of moments where we were like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we don't.
Well, the moment where you go, that's when I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of vague ones. I know Josh Earl says, who's on a podcast in this network called Don't You Know Who I Am, which we've all done an episode of recently, if you want to check that out. Really funny show.
Great show.
But he said that he remembers when the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Roadshow came through Tasmania. He went and saw the show, and the lineup was like ridiculous. I can't remember, but it was something like Will Anderson, Dave Hughes, Tripod, and
Wow.
Corinne Grant, or something like that, and maybe Pete Hellier. It was some sort of hectic lineup.
Huge.
And that was the day he decided he was going to do comedy.
That's cool.
I've got one.
Yeah.
I used to play in bands, and then I wasn't in a band anymore, so I had to go solo. So I was doing those freezer gigs, which are like underage, no alcohol, drug and alcohol free events. The drug and alcohol is not free at these events. Anyway, so it's just,
Then why go?
14 to 17-year-olds basically going there. And I did a gig one night, and my songs weren't very good because I'm not a great singer, but I did some improv jokes in between the songs, and that probably got a better reaction than the actual songs. And then when I went home that night, ABC were airing raw comedy from that year, and one of the acts was Smart Casual, who are a Sydney double act, and they did...
But they're the ones who did the Hawk.
Yeah, that was that song.
The Hawk. I've had that in my head this weekend.
So
The
funny.
Hawk.
And they combined...
Hawkins. Who's going to push the Hawk?
Have you seen it,
It's a
Jess?
great
No.
tune.
It's so, and they combined comedy and music, and I thought, I didn't know you could do that. And that was one of those
You
moments
are.
for me.
Did you start as a musical act?
Yeah.
I
Had
did
some
not know
comedy
that.
songs at first. Yeah, basically just music underneath my jokes, kind of thing. Yeah, isn't it? But that's
Yeah.
one of those moments. So I came home. It just happened to be that I'd just done a gig and thought, me talking went better than the songs, and then that came on. I was like, that's an option.
I would always leave stand-up shows or tripod shows especially going, I want to do that. I want to do that so badly. And then just never backed myself to do it. And then here we are. Fuck. What am I doing? Anyway, back to Belushi. So he started his own comedy troupe in Chicago. They went by the West Compass Trio. That was with Tino Insana and a guy called Steve Bashekis. Their success piqued the interest of Bernie Salins. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. He was a founder of Second City, and he went to see them perform in 1971 and immediately asked Belushi to come and audition. So he joined the cast at Second City, which was pretty cool. Although he was young and he was untrained, his scruffy, edgy and physical style stood out, and his energy and fearlessness made him a crowd favourite. Everybody, like, very quickly, people were like, this guy's going to be huge.
Cool.
Second City would hone John's skills, and he in turn would help push the company further because it brought more people in, and everything started to really get moving, which was cool. John and Judy moved into a small apartment together in Chicago, a block away from Second City. And at Second City, he met and began working with a couple of small names, Harold Ramis and Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, you didn't know he's related?
I didn't know. He's Bill Murray's older brother.
Yeah, it's a powerful family, the Murrays.
I mean, they're in bloody Groundhog Day together.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't there? There's another Murray that. Is there another acting Murray? I'm looking at Dave like he would have any idea.
That is related, or it's just a name?
That is related. Oh yeah. Is there another human who acts who's named Murray?
Yeah, Murray the Red Wiggle.
Oh, that's right. That's who I was thinking
Is that
of.
who you think of?
Better than Stinky Greg.
Fuck off, Greg.
Fuck off, Greg. Everybody's happy. Fuck off, Greg. We're happy when you're not here. Oh.
Brutal. Are you looking up Murrays now?
Bill Murray brothers, Joel Murray, John Murray, Edward Murray the third.
Wow,
I don't
there's
know
a
if
lot of them.
I don't know if these are Brian Doyle Murray. Oh yeah, Joel Murray's he's an actor.
Isn't that Bill's
He's from the one I was thinking of. I reckon.
nephew? Brother? He's not. That guy?
Yeah, Bill Murray's brother.
No shit. What's he in? I know his face. You're going to say one thing and I'll be like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, it's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He was. I think he's just one of those guys. He is in a lot of things. He was basketball player in The Cable Guy. He was Val's date in The Nanny. Remember Val?
I think I actually remember him from The Nanny.
Right. He was Bob, uncredited in the Drew Carey show.
Great. Okay. All right, cool.
He was Larry in Malcolm in the Middle.
So now that we're looking at pictures of actors that aren't related, I might just...
He was Gringo in Mr. Pig.
He's had an illustrious career of his own. In 1972, Belushi was offered a role in National Lampoon's Lemmings, which was a parody of Woodstock, which was going to play off-Broadway that year, 1972. So Chevy Chase is also involved, and the performers were playing the characters of rock stars, so they had to be funny but also musically talented.
And it's a live show at this stage.
It's a live show.
Cool.
The show was a bigger success than anyone had anticipated. It ended up touring. It was supposed to just be like a fairly short run off Broadway. It ended up touring all over the country. They did like 350 performances.
Whoa.
Belushi... Whoa. Belushi played the character of the MC and also did an impression of Joe Cocker.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine he'd do a good cocker.
Did a great Cocker. What, Dave?
I'm just imagining his great impression
Yeah, it would be funny, wouldn't it?
of the cocker.
Yeah, Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
The musician.
Yes.
What? Yeah, see, I couldn't do it. It's all in the hands, I reckon. What would you do if I sang?
Gravelly.
How did you?
There it is.
Would you stand up and walk out?
That was pretty good.
Better than we all expected. Even yourself.
Yeah. See, sometimes you can surprise yourselves.
Hand me up.
Back yourself. Okay. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, heavens. Now you're just faking it.
Is this Joe Cocker with a cold?
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
I'm very perceptive.
After the success of Lemmings, John was invited to be involved in the National Lampoon Radio Hour, which is a half-hour syndicated comedy program. After around 4 months of writing and contributing, the show needed a creative director, and John stepped into the role. His first order of business in his
John-
new role, Belushi.
Oh.
Any relation to Jim?
Yeah, older
Belushi?
brother. His first order of business was hiring all of his friends.
What a guy.
Which-
It's like when a baby gets in charge. Everyone, Fruit Loops for dinner.
Which I hope if either of you ever get a decent job.
Jess, you're the one who's going to get a decent job and get us cushy jobs.
fuck?
You're the one.
I've hired you at least on 2 occasions.
Okay,
Not enough.
thank you. Thank you for that.
But
But it was
it wasn't.
2 days of work, not a career changing.
Not a lifetime.
Okay.
Dave, what the fuck have you done for us?
Well, we asked you to be on this podcast. That was a pretty good...
Okay, so you did one nice thing 3 years ago.
No, sorry. I'm trying to think of it.
Grow up, Dave.
I'm
Dave.
living in the past.
Move
I
on.
want a long-term, successful career where I get to be famous.
All right.
I'm not
Is that too much to ask?
Dave, is it too much?
And only famous. Could be for any reason.
Right.
It could be like a thing that makes her seem awful.
That's infamous.
Infamous. Oh, okay.
I don't want to be infamous.
Okay, sorry.
You don't
I'm
wanna-
positively famous.
Positively.
and rich.
Oh, hang on. This is too much.
Get a pen.
Yeah. Gotta take notes.
What are you going to... Yeah, remember this, Dave?
Yes.
Come on, mate.
No, I probably won't.
So he's hired all his friends. Something that
But
a
that
decent
totally
person
makes...
would do.
But it totally is what you would
course
do.
it does.
Because they're his friends because he finds them all funny and talented, I
And
imagine.
they're not just like friends from primary school. They're
Yeah.
like people that he's worked with.
It's not like he's like, oh, I need an accountant. Jack, you can do it. It's like, I'm
Jack's
not an
like-
accountant. Just, Jack, I'm giving you a job, mate. Get in the chair.
I don't want the
Get
job.
in the accountant chair.
But I'm a very successful lawyer. I drive a
Well, you're
Mercedes.
crunching numbers now.
I could be your lawyer. Nope, I've got a lawyer. That's Gary.
The dog.
He's the accountant.
Yeah. Want my dog to have a job so he can come with me to work?
He's a good boy.
And he's a good lawyer.
Who's a good lawyer?
So he's casting his friends. This is Gilda Radner, Brian Doyle Murray, and his younger brother Bill Murray. He also cast his new friend Dan Aykroyd, who he'd met on a trip, I wrote triple, on a trip to Toronto to check out the local Second City cast in 1974. John took his job very seriously, and although his comedy was wild, his work ethic was professional and focused.
Oh. Now, Jess, if I could
My
just...
name is Jess.
Jeff, if I could just interrupt you for 1 second here.
You mongoose.
I'd love to tell you, Jess,
Thank you.
and the good people listening, that this week's episode of Do Go On is brought to them by Audible. And now Audible, the good people there are offering our free listeners, or our listeners, well, it's free for them to listen.
Our free listeners.
Yeah, they're free.
They're free to listen to this episode.
And they're free in general.
And Audible's offering them a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. All you have to do, listeners, is freely go to audible.com/dogoon and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a free title and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audible.com/dogoon or SMS or text dogoon to 500 500. So dogoon, all one word. Now, if you're not familiar with Audible, its content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers. So basically, you listen to podcasts while you're driving your car on the way to work, but you can also listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, this is right up your alley because you're already listening to fun stories.
I like reading, right? But I don't like having my eyes open. Okay?
You like
And
reading with your eyes
that's
closed?
where Audible comes in.
Yes.
Also, I like driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like driving with my eyes open. So when I'm doing that,
Does Audible tell you where to drive?
Audible, no, but it does give me something to keep my mind off, the tree,
How hard
the
it
tree
is.
that is now inside the car when it should be outside the car.
So when you're waiting for the mechanic to arrive, you've got an audiobook on
Yes,
hand.
exactly.
Good to hear. And there's...
Wait, what I was trying to say is like you're driving along, you can't read. I like listening to a book.
That's what
In
you were
the car.
getting at. Instead, you talked about how hard it is to keep your heavy eyelids up.
I've got real bloody big eyelids. I was working them out too hard, now they're too strong. They're bulging.
Yep. Got those bulging lids.
Biceps.
You got to see a doctor. That's very fucking good. Now, they have an unmatched selection. So and a lot of the topics that we've covered, you could just type in and find something that comes off the back. So, example, if we type in Hollywood, Jess, you've been banging on about that the last couple of episodes.
You know what I'm like, mate?
Come up.
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
You've typed in Holly-EO. There we go.
Hollywood. Now I've spelled it correctly. 475 results. Megan. About, the new princess. I Heart Hollywood. Oh, my goodness. I found it. I found the one I'm going to use. The Elephant to Hollywood. The biography of Sir Michael Caine, narrated by Michael Caine.
Hello.
Do you understand the reference, The Elephant to Hollywood?
Well, we'd have to listen to the audio book
Okay,
to know.
great.
And it goes for 10 hours and 18 minutes. So you get a lot of content there, and you can listen to it for free right now.
That's so cool.
What are we
Can you
typing?
check out Belushi?
Belushi.
Yeah, look up Belushi. That's very on trend.
Everyone's looking up Belushi.
It's very trendy right now.
Here it is, American Legends, The Life of John Belushi.
Ah, cool.
Also, The Children's Shakespeare by William Shakespeare.
Oh.
Narrated by Jim Belushi.
Oh.
Jim Belushi.
Oh, related.
Yeah.
Oh. And a related search.
Oh, well, according to Jim. I haven't seen any birth certificates.
Well, that's very cool.
So there's an unmatched audio selection.
Geez, you've said that a lot of times.
And you can get involved right now. All you have to do is go to audible.com/dogoon or SMS dogoon to 500 500. So audible.com/dogoon, all one word, or dogoon, all one word, to 500 500 to get started today.
Dave, how big's their collection?
Unmatched.
Wow, that is big.
All right, Jess, on with the show.
Right. Okay. So, the Belushi.
The Belushi.
The Belushi.
John.
John. Okay.
Hired all his friends. He's working really hard. In the summer of 1975, a brand new comedy series was being assembled. Most of National Lampoon's crew was being hired for the new show, with one exception.
Ooh.
Everyone around the project and the comedy scene was saying that John should be a part of the show, but the creator, a guy called Lorne Michaels, wasn't so sure about Belushi. He'd heard maybe he'd be a bit hard to handle. Lorne eventually agreed to meet with Belushi.
John. He was a hard worker.
Yeah. He agreed to meet with him, but the meeting was a complete disaster. Apparently, Belushi apparently, allegedly, talked on and on and on about his hatred for TV. In an interview.
About being on a TV show.
Yeah.
That's great fun.
Yeah. So that...
I love that he could come back from that somehow.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, he's so dangerous because he just bags out the form on TV. Stop watching, it sucks.
Yuck.
Advertisers don't like that.
He genuinely did have a distaste for TV. He hated it. But Judy says she knows John really did want to be part of the show because he knew that this show was going to be something different. And with a lot of prompting from others, Lorne agreed to give John another chance. And John came prepared with a new character.
Ooh.
A guy that loves TV. He walks in.
Apparently, John had been quite taken with the Japanese film festival that had been on TV, and he'd been studying the actors.
Okay.
He pulled his shoulder-length hair back up into a high bun, put on a bathrobe, and got a long sword-like stick and turned up at the office. And he was there in character, and after several hours, he was escorted into the meeting room with Lorne Michaels and some of the other
Several
writers.
hours.
Several hours of
in character.
One of the writers was like, people kept telling us like there's this crazy man in the lobby waving a stick around. Like they all thought they were in danger.
I love they didn't escort him from the premises, they escorted him into the
meeting room.
So you're going to have to come this way.
It's a no for, yeah,
just like please go. So they bring him in, he's doing this character, and then instead of using the stick he was holding as a sword, he started pretending to play pool with it and was all funny and sweet and clever, and Lorne Michaels was like, oh, great, and invited him to come and do a screen test.
This was in some sort of boardroom, I'm imagining?
Yeah. How strange is that? But apparently quite endearing.
Well, yeah, it feels like our instinct was obviously wrong.
I'm not sure that it was.
you think telling?
I'll talk more about that character later.
Oh no, the character being wrong, but us like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, pool players.
Yeah. Ugh.
The worst form of comedy, pool comedy.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we weren't there, and he was hired, so obviously he was...
It was a different
Because he's very
time.
physical as well.
Back then, you were allowed to be pretty fucked.
Yeah. And he went on to do that a lot.
Really?
Yes. So when Saturday Night Live first aired, after all of this drama, right, when the show first goes to air, first character in the first scene was John Belushi. So his talent was undeniable. Everybody loved him, but he was a real perfectionist. He could be very abrasive and a real handful when he felt the show wasn't living up to its full potential. He'd be very vocal about what he saw to be second-rate creative choices. It almost feels like in reading or hearing a lot about him, it's almost like he's a bit of a control freak. Like in times when he's in control of things, it feels like things are a bit smoother. But when he has to sort of take he's cast rather than the writers, he doesn't deal as well.
Right.
He displayed a great deal of dissatisfaction with the women writers, often refusing to be in sketches they had written.
Oh my God.
Right.
According to Jane Curtin, who was one of the first in SNL as well with him, she said this in 2011. She said he was a misogynist who deliberately sabotaged the work of women writers and comics while working on SNL. She said, this is a quote from her, she said, so you'd go to a table read and if a woman writer had written a piece for John, he wouldn't read it in his full voice. He felt as though it was his duty to sabotage pieces written by women.
What? How is that a duty? What the fuck?
Yeah, what a good duty. Yeah, bit strange. However, as if this makes it better, someone in a documentary I watched said that he remembered seeing John with candy and chocolates and flowers for the people he'd pissed off the day before. So all is forgiven.
Oh.
Yay! So he seems like a real handful to work with, and that's a recurring theme.
Sounds like a bit of a fuckhead.
Yeah. He was
Yeah, wow, what a dick.
He was really, really focused on his career and being a star. He wanted to be a star. So
To push women down
to get there. Yeah.
Cool.
He saw SNL as his chance to make it happen. You know,
Right.
It was his big shot. He was frustrated and very jealous of the attention that Chevy Chase received because Chevy Chase was seen to be like. He was like the good-looking one.
He was a massive stud.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I don't
Chevy
really
back then?
Young
know that.
Chevy.
If you just think of community Chevy, probably harder to picture, but
Yeah.
he was a real...
Young Chevy.
Like Caddyshack and
Yeah.
SNL and
Oh, yeah.
Fletch.
Yeah.
Very marketable. Like he was very TV or film. You know, like it was like he had the looks to go on from things. He wasn't just talented. He had the look.
He was very funny, though.
Yeah.
I always found...
Oh, of course.
When I was a kid, I found him funny. I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how well they age.
Caddyshack I've seen not too long ago, and that's still really funny.
Somebody mentioned as well, maybe it was Dan Aykroyd. I don't know. Somebody mentioned that like Chevy was one of few people in SNL who would like use his own name, would identify himself. Like he'd say, "Hi, I'm Chevy Chase." In some like Weekend Update and stuff like that, he would say his name, so people got to know his name a bit better.
Right.
Otherwise, they're all playing characters, so you don't necessarily get to know their names. It's not quite like now when you've got social media and you can follow all of them and you know what everyone's doing. But
Shit, they say Chevy's a bit of an a-hole as well,
Isn't
right?
he? Yeah, he's
yeah.
notoriously hard to deal with, isn't he?
Yeah.
Work with.
Yeah, I don't know anything specific. I've heard that vaguely a bunch of times.
I also have that perception, but I don't know exactly where from.
yeah, I think that's
I've always found that disappointing, but it's like it just seems like a lot of people who are like uber successful aren't very good people.
yeah.
But maybe that's unfair.
Oh, I don't know.
Because what you probably don't hear about is when they're not assholes; they're just normal people.
The Hugh Jackmans of the world.
Yeah. Let's hope that
I
You
mean-
never hear about him
let's
being
hope we
an
never hear
arsehole.
anything bad about him.
Oh my god, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Not our Hugh. In a show like SNL though, you couldn't wait around for your chance. You had to make your own luck and put yourself out there. So John recreated his character that he'd brought with him to the office that fateful day and created a samurai character. And the fun part about this is the samurai
Played pool.
ran
No.
a deli.
Oh.
Oh, so they use a samurai sword to cut up the meats.
Yeah.
Very
Like
clever.
he's got that from his nunchucks. Hey, weapons in the
Nunchuck.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Not a chuck.
Exactly. That's what
That
yeah,
makes
see?
a lot of sense.
Yeah, it was that sizzle earlier.
Right.
They say the best comedy is based on some form of reality.
Yes. I like how he changed it from nunchucks to swords.
Yeah. Just to mix it up a bit. And apparently this was very
Apparently that was to get away from the copyright law that Nana had put onto him because she was also a copyright lawyer.
Obviously.
She said if you use nunchucks in your comedy...
She said this in Albania.
It's on. No, she said that with a shrug.
Come on.
Non-verbal communication.
She said, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Is that her phrase?
And he understood, obviously.
Of course.
Similar to I Am Groot.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, come on.
Come on. Now, this went down really well. Apparently it was very funny. I personally don't think it's aged all that well.
You've watched this sketch?
Yeah, I've watched a bit of it, and you're like, There was one funny part that I thought was kind of clever. So the whole time he's just using a samurai sword, like throwing a tomato up in the air and like cutting it and just smashing at salami while he screams in a non-language.
It's the Fruit Ninja of the 70s.
It's the Fruit Ninja of the 70s. And then there's one part at the very end where he's made the sandwich and the guy says, oh, could I trouble you to cut that in half? And he like pulls out the sword like, ah, and then like very gently cuts it in half. It's like, okay, yeah, that's classic. That was the only good bit.
Oh. Come on. Yeah.
They finished strong.
Comedy.
Sketches, like, rarely do they age that well, I think, and often, they're classically hit and miss.
He also
a sketch show, right?
He also
That's the thing they say about sketches.
Yeah.
hit and miss.
They're always a bit hit and miss, a sketch show.
Yeah, I've never loved Saturday Night Live, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think their highlight packages are really good, but I think they do long sketches.
Yeah,
Often
just
with
watch it night to
small ideas that go on maybe too long.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but it also is an hour show and they have to come up with an hour of new sketch every week.
Yeah, that's pretty full on.
So it probably means that some ideas are going to be stretched more than they would otherwise. I don't know.
For example, a samurai who owns a deli.
I love it.
Yeah.
He played a series of successful characters over his 4 years at SNL.
They all own delis.
No, there is a Greek owner of a diner. That one's fun too.
Diner/deli.
Yeah. So he's he was becoming a real crowd favorite. He was very, very popular. SNL was incredibly popular all over the country. The cast were like instant celebrities. He was huge. He was making friends with Hollywood elite. The Rolling Stones were good friends of his, and he and Keith Richards would just hang out in Belushi's basement. Just hang out.
Wow. Put that on the CV. Keith Richards hangs out in my basement.
No big deal. John was quite impulsive on and off stage, and this is one of my favourite stories. He was known to turn up at friends' houses and start making spaghetti at 3 o'clock in the
Albanian
morning.
spaghetti. Really? Without them
Yeah.
knowing?
Yeah, just sort of let himself in.
Right.
But he must have been so fucking charming because those friends telling these stories are like, but hey, that was John. I was like, if I have a friend who lets himself into my house and starts cooking at 3 a.m., I'm gonna be like, oh, classic Matt. I'm gonna be like, get the fuck out of my house.
I'm going to call the police, man.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get your shit together.
That's my spaghetti.
I'm charming.
Not that charming, mate.
Is what I would say.
3 p.m., come on in.
Let yourself in at 3 p.m.
No problem. 3 a.m., that's sleepy time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I have to tell him when sleepy time is and isn't.
Yeah, 3
It's like the man doesn't know when to sleep.
That's I do if I'm home late. I will make spaghetti. So there's a little Belushi in me.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
What kind of spaghetti? Like what? Spaghetti is the pasta.
Yeah.
What are you putting on it?
Nothing.
No, I like just a basic sort of tomato Napolitana kind of sauce. Yeah. Maybe a little oregano.
Get a little basil.
Maybe a little basil.
Any parmesan.
Yeah. Maybe some parmesan. Yeah.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Look, I won't say no.
To some
So I'll
salt.
say yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, good for you.
3
Great.
a.m. is not spaghetti time in my world.
What's 3 a.m. for you?
Sleepy time.
Here we go. See,
Same.
Dave gets it.
I get it.
Dave gets
The
it.
East and the West, we do things very differently.
Except once a week when I work, 1 a.m. to 6 a.m., which time is definitely not sleepy time.
But you do not eat spaghetti at 3 a.m.
I do not. I eat shapes and
Right.
often gingerbread. Yeah, I'm adorable. Okay, so John was already an intense, over-the-top personality, but when he began experimenting heavily with drugs, I don't know how you experiment heavily.
Yeah, experiment makes it sound like dabbling.
Yeah, he was quite into drugs.
I guess but he's experimenting heavily, like trying lots of different things, I guess.
Yeah, but
Different potions.
yeah, and not just little bits of them though. So New York basically became a 24-hour party.
That was him. He made it the Big Apple.
Yeah, yeah. City never sleeps because of John Belushi.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, bet you didn't know that.
What an origin story.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just so we don't get any tweets, LA is the second largest city, but Chicago back in the day used to be seen as the one that rivaled New York. So that's why
I was
But this is something we said 20 minutes ago, so they have already tweeted at us.
I know. I just wanted to try and
Now
say that. 'Cause
retract your tweets.
We would have. Yeah, delete them.
Delete that tweet.
Kenny, delete it.
Yeah, Kenny.
Kenny, come
God,
on,
that'd be
mate.
so weird if someone called Kenny had just tweeted.
It would be so weird if someone was called Kenny.
Yeah,
Don't you reckon?
gotcha. He was unpredictable. He had a temper, and this caused him to be fired and immediately rehired by Lorne Michaels a number of times.
Immediately rehired, you're fired. And you're hired. New
Boom.
contract, here it is.
That's not quite immediately, Dave. Would have been,
And-
you're fired, you're hired.
And
Fired, hired.
in
Fine,
the new
what order?
contract, he's got a higher pay rate, so he never learns.
He just got a raise. That's how Lorne Michaels gives people raises.
I like
Fired,
it.
hired.
You fired hired.
What?
It's kind of like in 4 Weddings and a Funeral when Hugh Grant says, and how's that girlfriend of yours? He goes, oh, she's no longer my girlfriend. And then Hugh Grant's like, oh, well, don't worry. I hear she was always sleeping with someone else. It's like, she's now my wife.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so he was constantly pushing the limit, but he was somehow kind of maintaining a manic pace for a while. Like it was just go, 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 go all the time. One time he was found asleep in a friend's bed with a lit cigarette in his mouth and the mattress was smouldering. He's like the worst friend in my
And
eyes.
people like recalling that. But that's John.
That's John. Judy, who'd been by his side since high school, couldn't keep up, didn't want to support his party lifestyle. She basically kicked him out of their house, said he had to find somewhere else to stay. So naturally, SNL couldn't help but have a little fun with this, and during their live show, they urged the public to write to adopt a Belushi for Christmas so John could go and stay with them for Christmas.
And then Jim turns up. You're like, fuck.
Fuck, I don't want Jim.
Ugh.
Speaking of Jim Belushi, he remembers talking to his brother and how flippantly John was saying that their lives are different. Yeah, Judy and I split up. Whatever. We're different now. About a month later, John and Judy were married.
We're different now. We're married.
Yeah, it's different. We're split up because we're getting married.
Fire hired.
Fire hired. See?
You dumped. You're my wife. Here's a contract. You got a raise. What? What's going on?
Matt.
You may kiss the bride. Oh, that's why all these people are here.
Lorne Michaels officiating.
Matt, if Dave looked me in the eye just then when he said, you dumped, you're my wife.
Yeah, that is legal.
Fuck!
Sorry, mate.
I don't want to be Dave's wife.
Dave, divorce her. Look in her eyes.
Divorce me.
Annul it.
You're divorced. You're remarried.
Ah! Look away!
Oh, Matt.
She looked
Matt?
away. She did look away. I'm so sorry. You are both now divorcees.
Oh. I'm keeping the boat.
We didn't have a boat. How did you
I
buy
had
a
a
boat in
secret
that
boat.
split second?
I had a secret boat.
Can I play the piano?
Well, I couldn't before.
That's vaguely relevant.
So they're married now, and Judy has been described as like a lion tamer to John. She understood him. She helped him. She helped sort of allow him to be what he needed to be.
She
but
waved
maybe
chairs at his face.
he kind of contained him a little bit too. I don't know. He seems like the most exhausting person to be friends with, in a relationship with, around.
Oh, just imagine trying to keep track of his movements and just, he'd be wondering, he'd probably go out for days and he'd be like, is he all right?
Yeah,
Is he just in a bed with a cigarette?
That's the worst to me.
Yeah.
Oh, no thank you.
I'd be worried all
You'd
the
kind of assume he's always all right, but
Yeah, he's one of those people you'd be like, I mean, I know he's fine. Because
Yeah.
you'd be out with him a couple of times and that would give you an idea that he is always fine. And that is the thing. They all kind of had this feeling about him. He was just this indestructible person. He was just this party boy. Yeah, insane. By the end of the second season of SNL, He was a fully fledged TV star. But pretty soon, as it always does, Hollywood came a-knocking. Who's that at the door?
Hollywood!
Sorry?
Hollywood!
I don't know who that is.
I'll come back. They send Mickey Mouse to every Hollywood.
Hollywood!
You just get less and less confident. Check the address. Check the fucking address next time.
Hollywood? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
In 1978, he performed in a series of a few films. One was Old Boyfriends. There's also Goin' South, directed by Jack Nicholson. I should have said directed by Jack Nicholson. And Animal House, directed by John Landis. Upon its initial release, Animal House received generally mixed reviews from critics, but Time proclaimed it as one of the year's best. Belushi was completely
The
focused.
concept of time.
The concept of time, said Animal House.
Yeah, over time, people now look fondly upon that.
He was, while they were filming, he was completely focused because he wanted to do well in film. What he always sort of was working towards was a career in film. So he was clean.
Because he hates TV.
He hates TV, man. He said he spits on his TV.
Yeah.
In his meeting for a job on TV.
Before he did his shit on Lorne Michaels' head.
Does he know that you can watch movies on TV?
Yeah, TV's great.
He's spitting on it.
It's very versatile.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. If any TV bigwigs out there want to give me a job.
If there are any wigs, I don't care the size. I'll take your
Little
job.
wigs. Little wigs, give us the little gigs. Little wigs, little gigs.
Yeah.
Copyright.
If Lorne's listening,
I assume he is. We're available.
you
But
can
we're a
you can
package
hire
deal.
fire us anytime.
We're a package deal.
Fire hire. Don't hire fire.
You hide your
No,
fire.
but if you close your eyes,
Yeah, that's true.
you're hired. Close your eyes. Just close them.
You never look at Lorne in the eye again.
And then turn around and run.
Because of my heavy biceps.
Can't keep them open. I'm sorry, Lorne.
So, yeah, he was a good boy. He was clean and he was really focused. During the filming, actually, he was working two jobs. He was commuting between Oregon and the SNL studio in New York.
Oregano, which I put on my pasta.
Pat,
Oh.
Is that where it's from? Is oregano from Oregon?
no.
Really?
Oregon, no.
So that's quite a...
Oh, fuck off. Oh, it just took you a sec to get it.
Yes, you are lightning fast, and that was very funny. That was funny. I just wanted to point out it's quite a long commute from Oregon
Yeah,
to
huge.
New York.
Huge. So
Where's Oregon is that on the west coast?
Portland's on the west coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's working really hard. His character only had about 50 lines of dialogue, but he managed to steal the spotlight in the film with his facial expressions and his magnetism.
All 50 lines were like grunts as he was hitting someone with a sword.
Line one, line two. He. Three. Oh.
He was the only one who was allowed to improvise. Everyone else was very tightly scripted. He was allowed to go a bit loosey goosey on it. I hate myself for that.
John Belushi.
And he was saying, I'm lightning fast.
Oh. I'm just a good director,
That's true.
like John Landis.
The film did really well at the box office. It's apparently one of the most profitable movies of all time.
What?
Apparently.
Wow.
Maybe then.
What?
Wow. Couple of the lines of his in the movie.
His most memorable lines.
And now, John Belushi was a movie star.
Yes.
What movie were you talking about? Animal House.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Toga, right?
Yeah.
Toga.
And Belushi,
Toga.
John, and Dan Aykroyd had been talking for years about starting a band. They debuted the Blues Brothers on SNL and were a hit with the audience. So they were just like I think they originally did it as like audience warm up, and then eventually they went on as like a musical guest. And although they were taking their music very seriously, it was still quite funny as well, and the audience absolutely loved them. Steve Martin, who was at the peak of his stand-up career at the time, was a guest host that night and asked them to open for him at like a stadium, because Steve Martin was doing like arenas.
Yeah, he was a wild and crazy guy at the time.
He was insane. Have you read Born Standing Up?
No, but I've seen the cover.
Great. That's about all you need.
Yeah.
No, his story is
judged that
amazing.
book.
So he asked them to open for him.
Should I read it?
Yeah, it's really good.
I should read it. It's one of those books that everyone's read but me. Maybe I'll get it on Audible.
Yeah, Dave's just looking up to see if it is on Audible.
Ideally with him.
Yeah, baby.
Better believe it. Read by Steve Martin.
Yes.
Oh, man, that would be so good.
Well, that is a book I'm going to get.
I've read the book
With your eyes, like an idiot.
and thoroughly enjoy it. I'm going to re-listen to it. With
yeah.
Steve Martin doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Get him to do the hard work.
That's cool.
I know, but like I just feel like, when you're reading someone's autobiography, it's so much better to hear it in their words.
Yeah.
I think Tina
I
Fey
think you want
narrates
to hear
her
it in their
own as
words,
well.
ideally, yeah.
Anyway, so they did so, despite some of the audience initially being quite skeptical. A lot of people were there sort of thinking like,
Oh, at the Steve Martin opening.
Yeah.
It's always hard to open for another comedian when people
Totally.
have paid money to see a certain person.
especially a musical act, and especially an act that people kind of see as like characters from another show. It's not really related. It would be hard, but they smashed it.
I think they're kind of perfect because they're not trying to be particularly funny, right? And music
Yeah.
already provides its own energy. It's very different. It's not like someone doing Steve Martin worse than him.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
true.
Yeah,
it
it's
may-
completely different,
Yeah.
but also like a great energy. Totally.
Yeah. And like Belushi can sing, and Dan Aykroyd can really play the harmonica, and their band were made up of these amazing musicians, which I'm about to talk about. So they actually did super, super well. So with the help of pianist Paul Schaefer,
from the CBS Orchestra.
they started assembling studio talents to form a proper band. So they got the SNL saxophonist Lou Marini, and trombonist saxophonist Tom Malone. Fucking great names. They also got Steve Cropper, who was on guitar, and bassist Donald Dunn, who went by Donald Duck.
Of course.
And in 1978, the Blues Brothers released their debut album, Briefcase Full of Blues, with Atlantic Records. The album reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 and went double platinum.
That's awesome. 2 million copies.
It exploded. It was so good. So in 1979, Belushi left Saturday Night Live. So did Aykroyd, because they wanted to pursue a career in film.
So how many years do you reckon they'd done?
They did 4.
4 seasons, right?
Yeah. They made three movies together. 1941, which was directed by Steven Spielberg. Neighbours, and most notably The Blues Brothers, which again was directed by John Landis.
It's a great movie. It really is.
Released in the US on the 20th of June 1980, The Blues Brothers received generally positive reviews. It earned just under $5 million in its opening weekend and went on to gross $115.2 million in theatres worldwide. Isn't that insane?
It's worldwide, baby.
What was the budget? Because I thought it was I thought I remembered it to be a flop, and then it was only over time that it...
It did better over time, and it also did better overseas.
Right.
So in the US, it didn't do super well, but it was huge here in Australia.
And wasn't it that was the most expensive car crash scene of all time?
There's so many cop cars. It's
Yeah,
smashed.
I was.
I think at the time, and maybe even still, I'm not... Oh, probably not still.
They bought a bunch of old cop cars, and I think they paid like $400 a pop for them. Their first draft, so they had a really short turnaround. So Dan Aykroyd wrote the first script, and it was like 324 pages long. It was like triple the length of a normal screenplay, and then John Landis had to kind of edit it all down into something filmable, and then they just filmed it. So it was a really quick turnaround from writing it to filming it to getting it done. So after a good 5 months of filming and partying, John was completely exhausted. And at this point, Judy and Dan Aykroyd and Judy Jacqueline Belushi consulted a doctor about rehab for John because they were a bit concerned about him. But he was sure he didn't need any help and could handle anything on his own. But then John got news that his grandmother, Nana, was in hospital having suffered a heart attack. John lingered in Chicago for 2 days, not wanting to visit because he felt like she was waiting for him, holding on for him, so that if he went to see her, she'd die.
Right.
So he's like, I'm not going to go because then she'll die. Eventually, he did go to see her, but she was more worried about him, saying he looks tired and he needed some sleep. No. She passed away a little while later, and a week after her funeral, John saw a psychiatrist and took a new course of action. He hired a man named Richard Smokey Wendell, a former Secret Service agent who'd been working as a bodyguard for Joe Walsh from the Eagles. And Smokey was hired to protect John from himself.
Right.
He was there to stop John from being tempted by drugs and alcohol, keep him keep him under control.
Never heard of that.
Isn't that
Yeah.
Hiring a security guard to protect you from you.
At one point, apparently, John tried to sneak out the kitchen window and get out, and he got out onto the street, and Smokey was just standing there like, "Come on, dude,
That would be
I'm
frustrating.
Secret Service."
Because he could fire him at any time, I guess.
Yeah,
So that would be the tricky thing.
I suppose that maybe John's wife or something is like, hey, only I can fire you
Yeah.
or something.
yeah.
If
maybe,
John
I
says
don't
that
know.
you're fired, you're actually fire hired.
Yeah.
You're getting a raise.
You're a fire hydrant. That's an improv game we're trying.
Yeah, please put out the fire. We didn't start the fire. John
That was
Belushi
John
did.
You were smoking in bed.
So this kind of he started to do quite well. He even hired a personal trainer. He was looking after his physical health a bit better. He took on a couple of different roles, like one in a romantic comedy, which kind of stretched him as a performer because he was so used to doing things so over the top, and the director of that film having to be like, tone it down a little bit, just be a regular person. But that movie was a bit of a flop. And then
Toned it down too much.
Toned it down too much.
No one had any idea what he was saying. Just muttering to himself.
On the 5th of March.
Mutter. And he was
Mutter,
literally
mutter.
just saying mutter.
Yeah, it was weird.
And the director was
Mutter,
going,
mutter, mutter.
good,
Yeah.
good.
Great. On the 5th of March 1982, Belushi's trainer Bill Wallace arrived for a scheduled workout and found John Belushi dead at the Chateau Marmont Hotel on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. He was 33 years old.
Gosh.
Jesus' age.
I didn't realize he was so young.
He did a lot.
Because he didn't look that young, I think.
True.
But he also did a lot of stuff
Yeah.
for that age.
The cause of death was a combined drug intoxication involving cocaine and heroin, a drug combination known as a speedball. Why do you know that, David?
A lot of people have overdosed on them. A lot of famous people. I just don't understand why you would combine them. It seems like a recipe for disaster.
It's always and it always seems so heartbreaking too when they're doing well and then things sort of turn, and he kind of went back to drugs. In the early morning hours of the day of his death, he was visited separately by friends Robin Williams. Ever heard of him?
Yes.
Robert De Niro,
Oh.
as well as
On the day. So sorry.
So this is earlier in the day. So he would have,
On the same day beforehand.
yeah. Or I think it might have been early, as in, say, 1 a.m., kind of early morning, and then he was found dead later.
Isn't it just crazy to think that Robin Williams and Robert De Niro both drop in? What?
Yeah.
What a celebrity
Well,
life.
he was like a,
Yeah.
he was an it guy.
You know your favourite Father John Misty song?
Chateau Lobby number 4.
You know what chateau that's talking about?
No.
Yes. I just double checked.
Firstly, very cute. You remember that's my favourite Father John Misty song. But then again, the time that we went and saw him, I was like, this is my favourite song.
I think the whole theatre heard.
I don't care.
No,
It
so
is my
that
favourite.
is in reference to John Belushi's.
No, it's in reference to the
To that
Chateau
chateau.
Marmont.
Because I think, and I didn't
Amazing.
look into this heaps because I did finish this report at 3 a.m. But I think other things have happened at this. It's a bit of an infamous place. Is that correct?
Inside these walls of the Chateau Marmont include these people have worked there, including Billy Wilder, Hunter S. Thompson, Annie Leibovitz, Dorothy Parker, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Death Grips, and John Belushi died there.
Wow.
But it's been mentioned in a bunch of songs.
Yeah. It's a good.
Including one by Angus and Julius Stone called Chateau.
Oh, I like that song.
And Trigger Bang by Lily Allen.
Yeah.
Jim Morrison lived there for a little while.
Gosh, a lot of the people you mentioned did die young.
Yeah. Well, okay, so someone else that visited him as well was a woman called Catherine Evelyn Smith. She was like a backup singer and drug dealer. 2 months later, she admitted in an interview with the National Enquirer that she'd been with Belushi the night of his death and had given him the fatal speedball shot. After the appearance of the article, I Killed Belushi, sub-editors really being creative with their headlines there, it was published in June 29, 1982. The case was reopened and she was extradited from Canada, arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Really?
And a plea bargain reduced the charge to involuntary manslaughter, and she served 15 months in prison. I didn't know that anybody had been charged with around his death.
Well, so why was that article written?
Because she admitted that she had injected him.
Right. Who did she admit?
Oh, so she actually she didn't just give him the drugs. She actually administered them.
I've read that she injected him.
Ooh.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure why she admitted that in an interview.
Yeah.
But that's what caused the case to be reopened.
Seems naive.
Does seem a bit naive.
Or maybe she felt guilty and wanted
maybe.
Or maybe they paid her.
Yeah, that would be naive.
Yeah.
To do that for the money.
Yeah. And then think you're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks after his death, the next episode of SNL, as it went live, Brian Doyle Murray gave a tribute to him, and he told a story about a time he and John were walking in the snow, their heads down, and all of a sudden John pushed Brian out of the way, and Brian looked up to see John get hit by a truck and fall to the ground.
Shit.
And John got up, dusted himself off, and was completely fine. Like, an ambulance came, they took him to hospital, they x-rayed, he was fine.
Yeah.
But Brian's like, that truck would have killed me.
Right.
He's like, John saved my life. And yeah, then sort of paid tribute to him on behalf of all the SNL cast and crew and everything. It's a really nice tribute. So yeah, that's the life and death of John Belushi. But I have some fun facts because I didn't want to end on a sad tribute there.
That was a lovely tribute.
It was a
but
nice tribute.
I'd love to hear some fun facts.
Well, one of them I mentioned before. These are fun facts about Blues Brothers, the movie.
Oh, good.
One of them was one that I had before about Dan Aykroyd writing 324 pages of his first draft. Did you know that Dan Aykroyd and Carrie Fisher became engaged during the filming?
No.
So they had sort of become a couple set up by John Belushi, and they became engaged after Aykroyd successfully administered the Heimlich maneuver on her. This is what Fisher said. She said, "I almost choked on some kind of vegetable that I shouldn't have been eating. Brussels sprouts."
Some kind of vegetable.
He saved my life and then asked me to marry him. And I thought, wow, what if this happens again? I should probably marry him. They did not get married.
Oh.
But I enjoy that. Fisher wasn't the only Star Wars connection. Frank Oz, we've mentioned before for his work from The Muppet. He played the corrections officer who returns Jake's belongings to him at the very start of the movie. That's Frank Oz.
Oh, right.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
And my final fun fact ties into our beautiful city.
Chicago.
Chicago. The Blues Brothers was very, very popular in Australia as well as other parts of the world. Like I mentioned before, it was hugely successful overseas. Similar to the Rocky Horror Picture Show in New York, the Blues Brothers was shown regularly in Melbourne's Valhalla Cinema on Friday nights through the 80s and 90s, where as many as 400 costume fans would watch as 30 actors recreated the scenes as the movie played, with everybody singing along to the musical performances.
What? So people are they miming along? What's going on?
I have no idea if they're singing live but they're performing along with the movie.
That's fun. That is fun.
That's fun.
Fun fact.
I also just remember that we did Shake Your Tail Feather when I was in grade 5 and I played Ray Charles. Is that weird?
Not for a primary school thing.
Yeah, great.
Without having not been there, I can't
I'm
tell.
sure-
Hopefully you were doing it.
I think there's a picture somewhere.
Yeah, we're not talking about blackface, are we?
No.
Okay,
I
didn't know that information. I assumed not. But
yeah,
I said it. I
thank
thought it was
you.
fine for a primary
Correct
school.
assumption. I just stood in front of the keyboard for a bit and mimed his, "Well, I heard about the fella you were dancing with."
Yeah, I think you're allowed to sing Ray Charles songs as a
Okay,
kid.
great.
In grade 2, I once
Oh, Dave, no.
walked out dressed as a bug and said, "Welcome to the Ugly Bug Ball."
Aww.
And I had to audition for that line. Like 7 other kids auditioned.
You
why do
were
you-
picked as the ugliest
Yeah,
bug?
why do you think you got the role?
I think I just had a bigger voice than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
was- yep, the
definitely
voice.
not those big bug-like eyes.
I was wearing a mask.
Yeah, but you had an ugly presence about you.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was the vibe you brought to the role.
And I had an ugly
You
gait.
embodied the role.
As I walked
Why'd
to
you
the
have a
microphone.
gate there?
Well, I needed permission.
You needed permission?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give you permission.
So that's my report about.
Try. Is that a song?
I give myself
Oh, great.
permission to shine. Gonna shine so bright. Gonna make
I feel like
everything
Vanessa
wanna turn.
Romorosi.
You're finally gonna see me. Give myself
think that's
permission
Vanessa,
to shine. Bachelor Girl?
Oh.
No,
That
I'm not
sounds
sure.
right.
But that is the end of my report, boys.
Another Hollywood star where you think he was probably a bit of a prick.
Yeah, I reckon he would have been hard to deal with. It was Bachelor Girl.
Well done.
But yeah, obviously very talented, and achieved a lot in. I didn't realize how short a life. It's only 33.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. I pictured him to be in his 40s for sure.
yeah. I thought older, but yeah, there you go.
Very well done, Jessica Perkins.
Thank you so much.
If you like John Belushi, I listened to this podcast called Mic Check, and I haven't listened to them yet, but they've done a few episodes on John Belushi, on his career as well. If you want to hear more, like I imagine more specifically about his movies and stuff.
More of the Belushi.
More Belushi, more like unpacking of movies and stuff. But that's super
cool.
fun pod.
And with that, the triptych is complete, Jess. Or will you stretch it?
God no.
3 and done.
3
Can
and
you
done.
name one good third sequel?
Lethal Weapon 4.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the
The
Jedi is
Hunger
the
Games.
second sequel. Talking about fourth.
Oh, you want the fourth one?
Yeah, third sequel.
Oh.
Yeah, the fourth one.
Yeah.
So I've done 2 of those.
Yeah. Dave's done one incorrectly.
So the third sequel, I thought you meant the third film overall. I don't know many
Dave
films.
really has been wrong. It's unlikely this part of the episode will see the light of day. He'll be hounding you to have this cut.
I will. I'll be hounding you.
Well,
Well
Dave,
done,
I
Jess.
give
That
you
was
I give yourself permission to try.
Shine.
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 I'm going to try so bright. All right, Jess. That was a great episode, I've got to say.
Thank you.
I didn't know much about him.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Hey, so guys, there's a new segment on our show for some of our Patreon subscribers.
Yep.
On the Sydney Scheinberg level and above, they get to ask a question, give a quote, or a fact.
Great.
This segment's called Fact, Quote, or Question,
Love it.
and that's a working title. They get to give themselves a title themselves.
Oh, okay.
I suggested junior vice president, but so far none
For
of them
all of them?
None of them have picked that. No, each individual. So this week's
Fact, better question.
is from a guy who's given himself the title The Most Average American.
Oh,
His name's Joe Smith.
You're humble.
And he said, yes, that is my real name.
He is the most
great.
average American.
Yeah, great.
And this is his question. My question is, if y'all, which
Love
is
it.
great.
Love it.
You know he's American even from his title, but also from the way he says y'all.
Yes.
My question is, if y'all had to swap podcasts with another podcast on the Planet Broadcasting Network for 1 week, who would you swap with? Like, would you 3 together want to do the Weekly Planet, Hey Fam, or Tofop, for example? That's in it. That was a bracketed part, so that wasn't
Yep.
canon.
Meant to be read.
Yeah,
it.
probably not. And which podcast would y'all want to do y'all's podcast in y'all's
God,
absence?
it sounds stupid when you say y'all.
The podcast must go the same way, but basically we're just swapping the people in the scenario. Thanks, guys. Y'all are awesome. Well, y'all are awesome, Joe Smith.
Thanks, y'all.
I would like to do 2 in a think tank.
Yes. So us 3 would do 2 in the think tank.
Am
Yes.
I locked out of the think tank? Am I just banging on the tank's door?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I would
And
like
then-
that. And then they would have to do it. Because I think, well, we already know Andy's very capable of doing a report. He's done a great one for us. Al would be awesome as well.
Oh, you do a swap? Yeah, so the swap with them. All right, interesting.
That's how it works, isn't it?
I mean, I did
don't we
read
just
the
have
bit
to
in the
do a
brackets.
swap?
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's what a swap is.
Yeah, we're nailing it. This is fun.
I think you get to pick a different one. You can pick a different one to do ours, so it doesn't have to be a direct swap.
Ah,
Well, I'd also like a direct swap. I'd
Okay,
like to swap
great,
the
perfect.
3 of us with Auntie Donna because I think they have no rules, no structure. They just get to fuck around, which is when you think about the
One of them's a
report we
horse,
do-
one of them's a chicken nugget.
Yeah, there's a
Shotgun
lot
chicken
going
nugget.
on. Shotgun horse.
Matt's the third one. And then I'd love to hear them, the craziness that is them, try and do a report and when it goes off the rails, it would really go off the rails.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be awesome.
I should have I haven't thought about this at all, but those are both really good.
Okay.
Maybe I'd get Weekly Planet in here, and I'd get James to do a report to Meso about a real bad murder.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe. No.
Sure. All right.
About a real good movie. Okay. And we'd go and do their podcast. No, we'd go and do Josh Earl's podcast. David be Josh,
Right.
and you and I'd be contestants.
Okay.
So who's doing the Weekly Planet that week? No one. Oh, gosh. Or Josh is. Josh is doing it on
Then
his
Josh
own.
goes over to
Josh
Weekly
has to
Planet.
go and talk about superheroes and comic book movie news.
Yes.
He'd be great at because Josh can do it no wrong.
I'd get Meso. I've changed my mind. Meso to do the report on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to James.
Great.
Thank you.
James Smith, is this what you wanted? John Smith, sorry.
Joe Smith.
Joe.
Fucking.
Oh, that's not the most average. John Smith is the most
John
average.
Smith, sure.
Yeah.
Second most average, Joe Smith.
Then Joe Blogs.
Yes. John
Then
Citizen.
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
You know?
I get it.
You get it.
So that's this week's question or
Oh my
quote.
God.
Yes. So yeah, a few of them come in already. There's going to be a few questions for you. No one's done a quote yet, but anyway, and a lot of people haven't got back to me. So if you are on the Sydney Scheinberg Patreon level, please hit me up with your thingamajig.
And the Patreon's been going very well lately. We are up to, I think, 75 or 76% of the way to our US tour goal.
So excited. We're starting to actually talk about it like it's probably maybe going to happen, maybe. I almost thought it was. I was talking then like I thought it was, and I'm like, nah, I don't know.
Who knows?
So if you want to help us get to that goal, you can always do. It's actually at 78%. My goodness.
My goodness.
Good
Gee,
grief.
Willikers.
My grandma says, good Lord.
Oh, that's good.
She's 92.
Reminds
The
me
ledge.
of Neil Diamond.
I was thinking that.
Good Lord.
Never knew my
Crunchy
grandma.
granola sweet, is that what that is?
Sure.
Because my head started going into Jive Bunny.
Is this also Neil Diamond?
I guess so.
In a way, aren't we all Neil
Yeah.
Diamond?
And I had no
We're
idea
all
my
Neil
grandma
Diamonds
was,
in the rough.
Grandma was referencing Neil Diamond this whole time. Yeah, so anyway, you want to get involved in the Patreon, just head to patreon.com/dogoonpod or our website, dogoonpod.com, and you get 2 bonus episodes per month, a certain level or above. You get shout-outs, you get to vote for the topics, so basically shape the show and what we talk about. And you also maybe get your fact, quote, or question, or you get us to thank you live on air, which we'll do right now.
Live.
Well, it does record live. I mean,
This is a live recording.
Love to tape.
live I know, which really does take away the live crazy element, but we'll do it anyway. And what are we going to thank them? How are we going to thank them this week?
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know. Matt, any ideas?
Something to do with Blues Brothers?
Yeah, I was thinking like giving them an instrument to play or maybe like a blues name
Oh, yeah.
or anything else if either of you want to help.
No, this is your role. I don't want to step on your toes.
What if they were... Oh, I'm going to step on your toes. Blues Brothers. What about there's some other band name that's very
Yes.
similar to Blues Brothers? The
Love it.
something sisters, the cousins, the uncles, the aunts, whatever.
Love it, yes.
Great.
Yeah, cool.
I was just taking it all in orally.
Taking it all in.
Yep.
All right, cool. Who wants to kick us off?
I'd love to start by thanking from the United Kingdom of England in London,
Yeah, nice.
a man who runs a website called A Place to Hang Your Cape,
Yes.
which is a superhero-based hangout zone.
and
and
a long-time supporter.
Long-time supporter. His name is David Malofsky.
Oh, it's
David.
good. Okay, so Doesn't always have to be. It could either be a color, it could be a genre of music, it could be a feeling, and then a collection.
Could be more
of
than a
people.
feeling.
What about Cape something? The Cape.
Cape hangers.
The Cape Hangers. That's pretty good.
Cape hangers. I mean,
And they provide the official soundtrack to a place to hang your cape.
yeah. Yep.
And what if it's David Malofsky and the Cape Hangers?
Oh, now you're talking.
I like that. I'd go see
No.
that band.
You know we love it, and the.
Yeah.
I do love
I'm
an
big
Amber.
into that.
Huey Lewis and the News started it.
Yep.
And David Malofsky is finishing it, so you can say. And thank you to...
I don't think Huey Lewis started it, but thank you. Thanks for going with me there.
And
Thank
thanks
you,
to
David.
David for the support. Place to hang your cape. Check it out if you would like to go to the Hangout Zone.
I hope I described that okay. I'd also love to thank from Brisbane in Queensland, one of our favourite towns. I say ours, one of my favourite cities.
It's pretty good.
And we've been
visit?
there. We loved our live show we did last year, and we are hoping to maybe visit again sometime.
Yes, we're hoping to maybe pre-Christmas again, maybe. We should probably start planning that properly. From Brisbane, I'd love to thank Timothy Barry, a man with two first names,
Timothy
a man
Barry.
after my own heart.
Oh,
Timothy Barry.
and the
No, it doesn't have to be
Timothy-
Timothy. It's not an and the.
Timothy Barry and
a
the Maroon Mist.
Ooh.
oh, I love it.
I love that.
Queenslander.
Queenslander.
That's great.
That is good.
good
The
stuff.
Maroon Mist.
Sounds like a superhero as well.
Yeah, I do want to check
Wow.
that out.
That is great.
Thanks, Timmy Barry.
On your Timmy Barry.
That's a real great name.
Tim
Rock
Barry.
solid. Barry is one of my favourite names.
We've got to
Because
start
it sounds like Gary.
Yes.
I get it. Dave, would you like to go next?
Thank you so
Please.
much. I would like to thank from the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand, and I would like to give this.
They don't
person-
want one for anything over there.
I would like to give them plenty of thanks.
Oh,
And that is to Fraser Cameron.
Fraser.
Fraser.
Fraser Cameron.
Bloody Niles and the gang, hopefully, are all doing well. Also, Daphne,
Love Daphne.
little dog, and obviously
Eddie.
Eddie the dog, and your old man, Mr. Crane.
Crane.
Hopefully, he's doing as well.
What about Roz?
Oh, Roz can fuck off. No, like Roz. Roz is great.
What about Mr. Crane and the Forgotten Roses?
I like it.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Fraser Cameron. That is your new band or hangout zone name.
Congratulations.
Mr. Crane and the Forgotten Roses. Bay of Plenty. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It does.
Love to go there. And I'd like to thank my final person is from North Yorkshire.
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 Redcar. Beautiful. Redcar in North Yorkshire. Over in GB, I'd like to thank Sean Oliver.
Sean Oliver, another man with two first names.
Oh, can I have some more, Sean Oliver?
Yeah, great.
Is that something?
Yeah, let's make that something.
So what? Say it again.
Sean Oliver and the Twist.
Can I have some more, Squire? Oh no, I've had enough of me porridge. The bird's gone. Can I have a little bit more? Birds have come and got me porridge. Something like that.
That is not an excuse to lose porridge. Oh, the birds have got it.
How did they get it? They can't carry
They
a bowl.
bloody flew in here, tucked it under their wings, and off they popped.
They didn't eat that. They just took the bowl.
They took the whole bowl, sir. I've got to eat it with my hands now. Please, sir, don't put a bit of porridge into me palms.
Oh, it's boiling.
Please, sir.
It's boiling.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this burning pain.
So
So what do we got? Sean
Sean
Oliver.
Oliver and the bird thieves.
Yeah.
Yes. Sean Oliver.
Pat, you really
birds.
you disappeared into
Yeah,
that.
my eyes rolled back
Yeah,
into my head.
that was
Loved it.
beautiful.
What happened?
No, I'll replay it for you later.
Great.
That is
Sean?
something else.
That was dedicated to you, that performance.
Birds got it and put it under their wing. You're insane. Thank you, Sean. And I would like to thank a couple of people as well, if you boys don't mind.
I'd love you to thank some people.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank from Surrey, also in Great Britain, Adam Knight.
Oh, gosh.
Great name.
Holy moly. With a K?
Adam and the Round Table.
His band is a table.
Yeah, it's
It's just him.
hitting a table.
But does he move around the table?
Hey,
He's got 8 seats at the table and he just plays musical chairs.
does a different voice for each of them. I mean, you can veto it if you hate
No,
it.
I love it.
You hate it. I
Adam,
get it. You
Adam
hate
and the
it.
round table.
Yeah, I like it.
Adam loves it.
Adam loves
Adam
it.
loves it. Thank you, Adam. We love you.
His table's also, it's really easy to get from gig to gig because he just rolls it down the road.
Yeah, it's his mode of transport as well.
He jumps in, holds one leg with his hands.
Like one of those things with gladiators.
Whee! Yeah, like a little hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And I would also like to thank, if I may, Dave, we had Sean before from North Yorkshire. This person is from West Yorkshire.
What are the bloody chances?
You know the North Yorkshires and the West Yorkshires love each other.
Oh, thank goodness.
You two need to find each other and become friends.
Yeah.
Send us a picture. Thank you.
This person's from Ossett in West
Ossett.
Yorkshire.
It's Stephen Groom.
Oh.
Another good name.
Oh, wedding. When do we hear wedding bells?
I'm sure he doesn't get that all the time.
Well, everything we do is things they get all the time.
Good point.
Do you
point.
not think Oliver gets bird thief all the time?
Good point. Stephen Groom, any ideas there?
Stephen Groom and the funeral directors.
Oh!
Because you think
Fuck yes!
wedding.
4 weddings and a
And
funeral.
you twist that around a little bit.
David.
Stephen Groom, and it's got a beautiful rhythm.
I love
Stephen
it.
Groom and the funeral directors.
Dave, that's great. That's some of your best work.
Thank you so much.
And they all dress
a
up.
day off.
They all wear all
will.
black suits.
Yes.
Oh, and they just play like this grim look on their face.
Yeah, really morning music.
Yeah, you do not play this at night.
Do not.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen Groom.
Thank you, Pun King. And thanks to everyone that supports the show at patreon.com/dogoonpod. It really helps. And when we hit goals like the US tour, that is just going to make our lives.
Ah, absolute dream come true if we get to tour to America. Or anywhere, but certainly America would be amazing.
Certainly would be. If you'd like to get in contact at any time, dogoonpod.com. It's got all the links there. You can also click on suggest a topic there, and you can put a topic in the hat that one of us may choose. You can tell us about the topic, why we should do it. That's always nice to read. You read your little pictures. And
Read your pictures. He does not understand pictures.
I do not understand. And also see our words on Instagram. Hang on, I've messed that up. No, you can pitch the
don't
topic
get
to
it.
us, and we read it, and it's often why we choose them.
Jess has also just taken the reins of Instagram off Dave because Dave, we found out years after we started that he doesn't really understand how it works. So if you've ever messaged on Instagram, you'll probably get a reply now. And
Yeah, oh no, we're up to date with the messages on
I don't
Instagram.
understand why you would message someone on Instagram.
and
What's going
also
on?
we'll probably Jess will start doing more stories and stuff. I think. Is that
Don't
right?
put that pressure on me.
Please do them.
I mean, we all have
Okay.
access to it.
You can just ask.
I just did,
Oh.
please.
I thought you.
Yeah, no problem.
I just saw you doing a story now, and it made me think that maybe you're going to start doing stories now because you were doing a story now.
Now!
Right now.
I fucking love an Insta
Oh,
story.
I'm watching your story. It's pretty good.
Oh, I'd say if anyone's still listening, but I'm starting a new podcast, and these guys are going to be on sometime. It's coming out soon, so I just thought I'd put the word out. But I think it'll be out in the next few weeks. It's called Primates, and it's all about apes and monkeys in popular culture. It sounds silly when you say it out loud.
No, it doesn't. It sounds genius.
So yeah, I'll tell you more about that in future episodes.
Yes,
I'm
we'll definitely
sure.
let you know when it comes out. Very excited. Matt and I have recorded our episode of that one already, and it was a lot of fun talking about.
Wow, it doesn't sound like it was fun at all.
Oh, it really was.
It was
How do I
it was
say?
nice.
It was pleasant.
How do I say?
Je ne sais quoi.
It lacked a certain je ne sais quoi.
It lacked a certain fun or interest.
How do I say? But it finished, and
Yeah, and we were able to move on with
no,
our
we got
lives.
to talk about one of my favourite things in the world, which I will not spoil, but it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, we'll let you know when that comes out very, very soon. Get in contact anytime. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode, but until then, I will say thank you, and I will say goodbye.
Later.
With the pipes of John Belushi.
I'm going to sing it now.
The pipes of John Belushi.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.